YouTube, what's going on? It's your boy Father Dark. And before we get into the video today, I just want to take a second. I just got my end of the year YouTube, little analytic, whatever they like to call it. But, I just want to take a second and say thank you. As a lot of you probably know, my TikTok is like my main page where I post most of my content. I really wasn't into long form content prior to this year. But I've usually been more of like a short form content creator. I kind of like to, get in, get out of it, and spend more of my time gaming than having to put a lot of effort into longer videos and stuff. But I just want to say I really appreciate it, because this page, I've only really been putting any time and energy into it for the last year. I believe, right around January, I said, I'm going to actually start putting more effort in my YouTube page, getting a lot of love over there. So, and you guys have definitely went above and beyond this year, almost at 2K subs, and the views have been absolutely insane on a lot of different shorts and videos and stuff like that I've posted. So I just want to say I really appreciate it. Definitely give a shout out to Batgirl and Lewis Hamilhoff, I believe, or Hamilton. We're just going to say Lewis, but you guys have been around since the beginning. A couple other people too. Leave it in the comments if you've been around since the beginning of the page. You want to shout out the next video too, because we're definitely going to be doing that on the way to New Year's and stuff. But those are just some of the people off the top of my head that I see literally under like almost every single one of my videos. So I just really want to say I appreciate you. And yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. So first thing we should probably do, in moments like this, is have a moment of silence, right? And say, rest in peace to one of my all-time favorite games, which, built my whole channel around, which is Call of Duty. So we're just going to take a second. We're going to have a moment of silence for Call of Duty and its untimely passing. Okay, I think that's enough. So, like I've said plenty of times before, I tend to be a super optimistic person. I believe that if you have billions upon billions of dollars at your disposal, there really is no reason why you can't figure out how to make things work and how to appease your community. And that once you've gotten to that level, you've only gotten to the level of being a household name for gamers, in the FPS genre, by, actually kind of understanding what your base wants and what it is they're looking for, and how to just, make your game work. Of course, games as massive as they are now, we're not talking about, I'm as old as dirt. So, my first console was a Sega Genesis. Back then games were extremely simple. Bugs, and the thing is too, is that once you had a bug, you just kind of had to deal with it. Every once in a blue moon, they would ship out a new game that had fixed bugs if they were that big of a deal. But, for the most part, though, games when they shipped, they were complete. They had bugs. They were very minute, not a big deal. Some of them were actually appreciated and exploited by the community. But nowadays, games are massive. You could fit my whole entire gaming childhood onto a 10 megabyte stick, a USB stick or something like that. So, where we are nowadays is completely different. You're talking about games that are upwards of 100, sometimes 200 gigabytes and stuff like that, depending upon how big the games are, obviously. So I expect there to be numerous bugs. I'm amazed that they're able to make games that massive and that there are not more bugs, especially when a lot of times the bugs that we get in games are very weird and random. People are like, yo, I ran over to this one random wall on like a cliffside or something like that, and I just ran into it a million times, or hit it with a sword 8 billion times, and I was able to like glitch through it. And I go, okay, first of all, why are you even doing that? Second of all, like, how would anyone think to know about that, and how is that like adversely affecting your game, right? But with COD, the bugs have just become too much. The cheating has become too much. The denial has become too much. There's so much with the game to where it is becoming a chore to just get on. Skill-based matchmaking, which is something that I am actually in favor of. I don't believe in bullying. I think that's what no SBMM is. But I also believe in a balance to things. I believe that there should always be a perfect balance to things, because when there's not, you're obviously just getting one or the other, and that's not how life should be. It's like the Thanos meme, like, balanced as all things should, but still, I mean, he had a point, I think that's why Thanos was an excellent villain, because I think we can kind of look back and go, was he really wrong though? Though, yeah. So we're at this point where yesterday, with my own two eyes, I saw Nade Shot, which, if you guys don't know who Nade Shot is, he is an OG in the community, and we have to respect our OGs, because COD would not be where it's at or even be as popular today if it wasn't for the OGs, who made it stand out amongst other games like Battlefield and Medal of Honor and so many other games that have just came and went, hundreds of games that have tried to, dethrone COD over the years. So we have to respect those people. And then even so much, not even, maybe people might consider Swag to be an OG, but, to me, he's a current prevalent content creator, but these are two. The reason why I bring them both up is because these are two people that it's in their blood to play Call of Duty. That's what they do. They don't know anything else. They don't pay attention to anything else. Every once in a blue moon, they'll jump on a game that's out and trending for 5 seconds, and they're right back to COD. When there's no content, they're right back to COD. And these are people that, they have contracts with streaming services or whoever. I don't know this about Nade Shop or Swag, for example. He had millions of dollars in a contract with YouTube for like 2 years to be able to play any game that he wanted to, as long as he just met his. They didn't say in the stipulations you have to play Call of Duty. That's what he chose to do. And I know a lot of people think that COD is like paying these people out of pocket, but any game really, once you have a certain amount of following, branding and stuff like that, there are sponsorship deals and stuff, they're gonna go with you because you have a following. It's not the game that's making you. It's the content creator at the end of the day. That's all there is to it. If you're good at games, you can switch to anything at any given time and be good at games, because you're going to just understand. One, you're a competitive person. You're going to want to learn the ins and outs, the mechanics, all that kind of stuff. But, you yourself are like good at gaming, right? So to say like, well, this game is like the only game this person is good at, they're not really a gamer at that point, anybody that truly wants to be good at something can be good at something else, in that same niche or whatever. At least that's my belief, right? So, you can't say that these are people that are only good at these games, or that they only get paid to play these games. They could literally do whatever it is they want to, and they're showing that, and like I said, these are people who I have never seen them in my lifetime play anything else. And now they're off playing Marvel Rivals. They're giving Delta Force a chance. They're playing what is looked at as the opposition in the Call of Duty world. I don't personally look at it as the opposition. I think Fortnite is an amazing game that has given us things that are as mind-blowing to me, someone who didn't think he would ever see it in his lifetime, like cross-platform. They've given us that. Set aside the fact that people look at it as a kid's game, whatever. We have to put respect on Fortnite's name, and it's okay to do that sometimes. Just because you don't like something or you don't play it doesn't mean that you shouldn't have to put like respect on its name, right? And appreciate it for what it is and how it's changed gaming culture and stuff, right? So yeah, but you have them in there. They're playing, basically search and destroy in Fortnite. They're playing these other games. They're stepping outside of their comfort zone simply because things have gotten that bad. The cheating epidemic right now is actually wild. And, we've been making jokes about it for a while, where we've been saying, is Ricochet even on right now? Are the lights on in the building? Is anybody home? And, they came out and they said in not so many words. It's kind of like when the government says like, well, there's UFOs, or, they'll say like, we found a ship and the ship wasn't of earthly origin or something. And then they go, well, are there aliens? And go, well, we can't talk about that. You just did, right? Like, and it's the same thing with like the cheating. It's the same thing. They say, oh, well, we've upped this or we've changed this around, and oh, so you're now doing what you should have been doing. So that means prior you weren't doing what you should have been doing, to the point to where ranked is unplayable, whether it be multiplayer, Warzone, it's unplayable, and no matter what goes on in the game, the store is always working. That's one thing that if the store right now, if hackers found a way to make the store not work, all of a sudden there would be lawsuits. All of a sudden there would, and it's one of those situations where now that it's affecting you personally, when it's not affecting you and people are still getting those bundles, well, then all of a sudden you don't care, right? But or you don't care. But then once it starts to affect your bottom line, then all of a sudden you care. Then all of a sudden it's relevant. Fortnite just personally sued some dude that was like cheating in a tournament. Like they actually fought. He's a teenager. They fought a lawsuit against him. This is not the first time they've done that. I think they rival Nintendo and Disney in how hard they'll go after people in regards to suing them and letting them know, like, do not mess with our IP at all whatsoever. Do not violate any terms of our agreement, which hacking is clearly a violation of that term, right? And I respect that because I've said for a long time, I feel like cheating should be illegal. It should be punishable by like years in a prison, because to me, how is that any different than if I just hack a corporation? If I hacked Walmart right now and finagled around some stuff or changed some stuff around or made it to where I could just go in there and get stuff for free, they're going to send me to prison, straight to prison. And rightfully so. You know why? Because it's illegal. And it's all fun and games until it affects you, right? You might be like, oh, well, they're a $1 billion company. Okay, well, let's say I say that you make a lot of money. So people should just be able to go in your home and take things from you. No, they shouldn't. And if that happened to you, God forbid, you would be upset about that. And rightfully so. You should be. There's a reason why there are laws and rules and regulations in place. Because if you just flipped it around to where it happened to you personally, not saying that I hope that it does or anything, but I'm just simply giving you an analogy here, so it's easier to understand. If this thing was to happen to you, you would feel some type of way about it. No? Of course you would. I would too. Like, what are we talking about here? But COD doesn't have to sit down. These people, these developers, they don't play their own game. Not only do they not play their own game, they fired, however long ago it was, last year, 2 years ago, they fired all their the people that play test these things, like the updates and stuff like that before it came out. I'm having a brain fart right now in regards to what you call those people specifically, but nonetheless, let's just call them the play testers, right? The group of people like us that they could get us to do this for free. They could literally say, yo, Dark, you know what? Before every update, like a day before, we're gonna send you the update. Just don't tell anybody what's in the update. Play the update. Just do basic things. Run around. Try to like reload your loadout while you're playing. Just try to full sprint. Try to mantle over stuff. Try to open doors. Tell me if the lighting looks crazy inside the building. Like just the most basic, bare essential things that people do when they load into your game. And I'll tell you, like, hey, this isn't right. When I try to run or sprint, it cancels my reload. Whatever. People would do this job for free because they enjoy it that much. For a lot of people, it's their way of relaxing. It's their thing after they have to deal with kids and the wife and school and, just the stresses of anything that you have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. This is what they do. It's their hobby. It's their time. They have whole entire rooms like myself that are closed off from everyone else that are solely centered around gaming. They spend thousands of dollars like myself on PCs, multiple PCs and consoles and stuff to be able to do it. Some people, it's a job. They do it for a career. They use these games to make content, and it works both ways because the people that that make the content, it's only benefiting the game developers. And when the game developers make the content for the updates and stuff like that, for us to be able to make videos and shorts and stuff like that, it just benefits them as well. So it's a kind of like a symbiotic relationship, right, where both parties are kind of like benefiting from it. But it's getting to a point, man, where COD is just, no one wants to deal with the BS anymore, man. Like we're getting tired. Like you can only put yourself in a relationship like that for so long. Like you think about it in a relationship, whether you're a guy, you're with a girl and she's just constantly fooling around on you and, doing this, that, or the third. And, me personally, I would be out immediately because that's just how I roll, but, not everybody's like me. A lot of people, they might say, hey, well, you know what? I really like her. She's really nice. She does this. And it's like, you might put up with that for 4 or 5 years, but eventually you're going to get to a point where you kind of go, hey, you know what? For my own mental sanity, I can't take this anymore. Vice versa. You might be a girl, and the same thing happens. And eventually you get to a point where you're just mentally kind of like beaten up, right? And you go, I'm done. This is just too much. And that's where we are in the COD community. We're to a point to where we've all just had enough of the BS. And, I say that, but it's like, the people I'm talking to, the kind of people that I direct my content toward are not casual people. And that's not a jab. If you are listening to this and you are a casual person, that's not a jab at you. It's just that everybody kind of has like their niche group, right? The people, like their target audience and stuff. And it's okay if you're coming in and you're not part of that audience. But nonetheless, though, 9 times out of 10, when I'm speaking, I'm imagining that I'm speaking to someone that kind of knows the ins and outs of the game, someone that is a more competitive player, that has a higher KD and stuff like that. You're a smaller group, right? The majority of people are just casuals. And the casual people, the reason why I said that that's not like my target audience is because 9 times out of 10, the casual audience is not super into watching YouTube videos, shorts, TikToks, all that kind of stuff. They just kind of play the game. Maybe when they're on YouTube, they see a funny video. They have one content creator that makes them laugh or something, tells them about updates. And that type of content that I make, that's fine. That's one thing. But these more like intimate discussions, or rants or whatever, these are more directed toward the people that have really invested a lot of time and energy into this game and have just gotten to a point where it's like enough is enough. What does it take for people who have built their whole entire, the people that I named, like Nade and Swag, myself, not saying that I'm on the level at all. It's not anything like that at all. I'm just simply saying that the idea of content creators who form all of their content around one type of game because that is the game they primarily enjoy, and that's the one thing that we do have in common is that if you were to look in our bios or pages or whatever, it's going to say Call of Duty content creator, Warzone content creator, whatever falls under that umbrella of Call of Duty, whether you're multiplayer, whatever, right? That's primarily what we focus on. We are not what's known as variety streamers that play numerous different types of games. Now, like I said, there's exceptions. We've all, like, if you look through my page, you're going to see what at this point, I think over 500 videos, but and that's mostly shorts. But nonetheless, though, you're going to see like over 500 different ones. And maybe I'd say 7 or 8 of those prior to Marvel Rivals have been different games where I've kind of tested the water and said, hey, you guys like this? Do you want to see more content? No one ever says anything. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess it's time for me to shut up and go back to playing Call of Duty, because if you didn't want me to keep playing COD, you would say something, right? But for the most part, though, that's the only thing that gets posted on here. And we're to a point now to where, I think there's an update today where there's like a new sniper that comes out. And, they have this bundle coming out pretty soon that I did personally just want to troll because I just love trolling, where it's like a unicorn, farting out rainbows or something like that, for lack of a better way of putting it. But I mean, that's pretty much what it's doing. Nonetheless, I did want to get on just to kind of, because it's just creature of habit. I just want to get on, get that sniper leveled up. Maybe it's super fun. Maybe it's broken. Maybe not. Who knows? Same thing with the finishing move. Get on, maybe make a few clips with it, get off, and go back to playing what it is that I really feel like playing right now, which is either Marvel Rivals or Delta Force. So, and you could say that it's because they're newer games. There's stuff to level up. There's stuff to do, whatever. But why isn't COD doing that? You're worth close to $100 billion. Why not be pumping out the content? Like, why is there ever a time where I don't have something to level up or something to do? Why are there so many bugs when I would say pay someone to make sure there's not, but you wouldn't even have to do that. People would do it for free. You could literally just get people to do it for free. I could sit here for another hour and say why this, why that, but it's a waste of time because there's only 2 options. You either fix your game and you actually start using an anti-cheat that actually works. Admit that the Ricochet anti-cheat is just not it. The AI anti-cheat is not it. That's not the way to go. Get an anti-cheat that actually works. Not saying that there's any anti-cheat that's perfect, but there are definitely better options than what we're currently dealing with, which is almost pretty much nothing. So, yeah, you could do that. You could pump out more content. Get better crossovers. Like, how does Fortnite get literally every crossover in human history? I don't think they're running out of stuff to have crossovers about. Like, at this point, they're just updating and making more bundles to crossovers they've already had. You could go on, whether it be Halo, Dragon Ball Z, literally every character in the Marvel universe, every character in DC. They have, and not only do they have all these characters, like I said, they'll have different versions. So it's like they'll have, like if it's DC, they'll have like, they'll say, well, we got like the Dark Knight series Batmans. We got the animated series Batmans. We got the, like the Batman. We got them all. Whatever you want. Zack Snyder's Justice League Batmans. Same thing with Marvel. They're like, we have every like era of Iron Man suit. We have ones that are more cartoony, ones that look more like they're cartoony realistic, however that works. But you get what I'm saying though, right? And you know what we got coming up for COD? We have Squid Games. Like, who in the hell cares? At no point in time I've been like, yo, you know what would be sick is Squid Games and Call of Duty. Now, could they make some really fun game modes if they actually put their time and energy into it and actually tried, instead of making these rinse and repeat game modes where it's like, this is pretty much the same game mode, we're just gonna put Squid Games on the walls or something, like, but it's still search and destroy. Like, bro, come on, man. And you know, every empire's got to fall eventually, but at the same time though, it didn't have to be this soon. You know, and I know a lot of people, they say, well, people are always chasing that COVID era. No, that's BS. Because you know what else was really popular around COVID at the start of it? Fortnite. A lot of people don't talk about that. Fortnite was popular as well. It hasn't ever really stopped being popular. You know, of course, you can never get that popularity that you got when it first came out because it was just new and different. But I mean, these people are always at the top of the board when it comes to games, and they're a free-to-play game. But they always make sure they have fire events. They always are trying to like inject new life into the game. They have like a Lego mode coming out that's literally like GTA roleplay. Before we've even gotten GTA, Fortnite is like, yo, we're about to give you something to hold you over. They have the Lego mode. They have all the characters. They have they give you the ability to create whatever type of games and game modes and stuff you want in the game already. They're like, yo, whatever we're doing isn't enough for you. We're gonna let you create whatever you want to create. It's just ridiculous, man. It's just ridiculous. Like you could be doing so much with this game, and you're just kind of like, we're not gonna do anything. We're just gonna keep creating bundles. I mean, why are we still on the same map? All you guys could release was Area 99. Why don't you have like matter of fact, that's the thing, is like, you have a big map. Why not just release Avalon? You've clearly already completed it. I can fly around it in, you know, spectating mode in a multiplayer match, in multiple different matches, because clearly it's just like with Verdansk, where you've put different POIs from multiplayer and stuff all on like one giant map. There's numerous maps that are all just part of Avalon, like Stakeout, whatever the other one is that, you know, it's like half water and stuff like that. You know, there's a few different ones and stuff that I've noticed are like really just Avalon maps. And it's just weird to me. Like, you still have us playing on Urzikstan, which that map just, it feels void of life, you know? Like, it just feels hollow to me when I'm playing it. It just doesn't feel like anyone put any love or care into that map. I just don't get it. If you're going to at least make maps like that, at least give us multiple different options of ones to play, instead of sticking us on the same one for what feels like an eternity and then being like, you know what we got for you next? The original map. Yeah, Verdansk. Bro, I don't know where this, like, these people like, yo, we need Verdansk back. Bro, if you actually like have been around since the beginning, I think that has to be what it is for a lot of people. But like, if you were around since the beginning, I don't really feel, I could be wrong, but I feel like you wouldn't truly want Verdansk back, because when Verdansk was out, we were begging for a different map because it had been out for what seemed like forever before we actually got another map. And what was the other map that we got after that? I mean, it wasn't until Warzone 2, right? When we got Al Mazrah, wasn't that the only other time we got another map? I'm pretty sure we were on Verdansk like the whole entire time. I could be wrong. I may have forgotten one, but I don't think so. I think we've only had, what, Verdansk, Al Mazrah, and now Urzikstan. And it's like, it takes them so long to make these maps. And you're thinking like, yo, these maps must be like amazing or something for them to take as long as they take. I feel like you could pay a 17-year-old right now to make a better map in like a month. Dolo, like without any help. He could make one that's better. You know, like the average guy who just makes Roblox games and stuff in his basement. Just, you have whole entire teams of developers, and that's the best you can do. You know, it could be self-sabotage, man. And I don't know this for a fact. I don't want to catch a lawsuit or anything. I'm just simply saying it could be self-sabotage. Maybe the developers are, you know, personally trying to drive the game into the ground so that, you know, they can move on to make something else. You know, I mean, maybe they're just getting tired of making the same game every year over and over again with just a new slab of paint put on it slightly upgraded features or something. Maybe you know, it's an inside job. You know, the call might be coming from inside the house type of deal. But you know, like I said, it is what it is, though. I mean, let me know in the comments, though, what you guys think. Do you think it's being blown out of proportion? Do you think that people are making a big deal, that it's not that serious? Do you care? Do you not care? Do you want me to shut up and just get back to making the regular, you know, content, and you know, whether it be about Call of Duty? And that's another thing too. Let me know now that we're coming up on a new year. Let me know. Like, be vocal in the comments. Let me know. Yo, Dark, play this game. Try this. I want to see more of this. Do you guys want to see the Fortnite multiplayer? Do you want to see Fortnite? I'm sorry, not Fortnite, but Delta Force. Do you want to see more Marvel Rivals? I mean, I'm going to play Marvel Rivals regardless, but is that, you guys want me to start pumping out the content heavy for that? Is there some other game that's coming out that, you know, you guys are like, nah, we're on this, little bro? Like what's going on? Let me know in the comments. And, you know, like I said, I really appreciate the views this year. I appreciate all the support. I just appreciate you guys in general, and I will catch you on the next one.